I'm sorry. Yeah, closer
Please
to
speak
you
up for
and
my
speak up.
account.
Yep. Thank you.
We picked our head coaches, so teams will know who they get for a coach. Assistant coaches are still in the works, but making all the strides to get ready for the season to start. Practice starts in July, games start in August. More to come.
Okay.
Cheer, the full season cheer team took first place in the national championship last weekend in Virginia Beach. So they are national champions for year 2.
Congratulations.
That's
Congratulations.
fantastic. They have Shamrock Showdown this weekend in Baltimore. And then they are getting ready to go to a global comp in Florida at the end of April. So they're very excited and they are working hard.
And when is the spaghetti dinner? How did it just happen? Was that successful?
It was. Each athlete, that fundraiser went to each athlete. We split up the profits. So each, I want to say 11 of the girls showed up to help. So they each made about $160-ish to put towards their trip.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, they did a good job. Registrations are open for cheer as well. Sideline is open as well as winter. They will stay open till August, I think. So they are also open. Softball registrations just closed. Practices start next week. We have about 80 girls between the 5 age groups. So games start mid-April, so that's well on its way as well. They are working on at least one of the fields at Northwest Middle School to help with ease some of the congestion at the park. I don't think one field's going to be enough. They're looking for another field. So they reached out yesterday to West Carroll Rec, but we don't have any softball fields under that, so I'm not sure what they're going to do yet. Other than that, I think that's all I know for now.
I just have a quick question. Sorry, trying to stay out of the light there. Does softball still have a donor who's willing to put in an additional field at THS for them if that space becomes available?
I don't know that answer, but I can find out that answer.
Okay.
So yeah, I think they laid it out, but they didn't think there was enough space.
Okay, okay,
That meant a lot of work, but I will ask that question.
okay,
I think that there's probably a way to fundraise for that.
okay. Got it.
And with self-help open in the fall, if they knew it, they would definitely apply for it.
Great. Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Does anybody have any questions for Stephanie while we have her up front? All right, we're good with that. Bill, I see you hiding back there. Good to see you, Bill.
Hi.
How are you? Good. All right, give us an
A
update,
little
sir.
unprepared, but I can give you guys
That's
some, at least numbers for soccer. Hi, Bill Rose, Community Liaison for FSK Junior Eagles. Right now, our numbers, as of the last meeting we had, sit at about 341 kids for spring. Let's see, the 3-year-old clinic age group, we have 42 players. Kindergarten, we have 75. First and second grade, we have 65. U10 age group, we have 48. U12, we have 42. U14, we have 37. And for the high school league, we have 32. And actually, not included with those numbers are 17 players for the elite program. So those numbers are actually higher than fall numbers. So the program's growing, and hopefully the field expansion's working. We are still using Roberts Mill Park to its full capacity, and we are also over at Northwest middle school, using one of the fields over there. So there's a lot of growth in the program, and we need to get some fields.
We hear your call. Yes, we know. I mean, with those numbers, obviously, so you'll be very busy this season, so.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. It's
looks
good to
like-
see the program grow.
Yeah, it looks like Lorena and Kyle have been working on getting some of the fields worked on up at the park.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, we had put a pretty good amount in the fiscal year '24 budget for field improvements, but I met with Kyle out there on the fields, and we need to do something as a stopgap in between. So it's just,
they definitely look better than when you and I walked.
right? Oh,
But
yeah, for
they still
sure,
need
for
some work.
sure. They, as you know, well, they get heavy play.
Yeah.
So, and with the timing of the practices and the games in the season, and the timing for us to be able to get out there and fertilize and seed,
Right.
it's tough. It's
Kinda
very tricky to
overlaps
get.
each other.
Right, exactly, yeah. So, but we're gonna try to work it out so that Kyle keeps everybody off the field that we're seeding and working on.
Right.
So we'll do the best
Right.
we can, yeah. The cleats will help get the seed down in there.
A little bit, yeah.
Aerate, yeah.
I think, other than that, I think their seasons, they've actually started practicing. I think their season starts towards the end of the month and will go through Memorial Day?
Yeah, I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's what, yeah, I think they'll finish up that week, I think. Other than that, that's what I have.
Okay.
You guys have any questions for me? Hey, Jerry.
No questions? All right.
Right.
You're free to go.
Thanks.
Well, you're free to stay, but, yeah. Thanks, Bill. And then you had a report, Lorena, for,
Yes,
Lacrosse,
for
okay.
lacrosse, they have reported that their season just started last week. They are still devising their game schedules, and once they have that, they're going to share those with us, so we know what's going on there. And Stephanie, I should have asked while you were up here, but I assume that they have worked it out with football to use the practice field and the game field again this spring. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. And that's all I've got from them, and I don't have any other reports.
okay, no other reports. All right. And then, so we have a new face on the board. So for our athletic association reps, this is Mackenzie Kilby. She is our new representative here on our Parks and Rec Advisory Board. So you'll be seeing her. So with that, we will go on to a business update on various construction improvement projects in our parks.
Okey dokey. The Memorial Park Baseball Field lighting retrofit, that's scheduled to begin work in mid-May. We had hoped to get all the work done and finished before the season started, but there was a delay in the material fabrication and shipment. Apparently, these crossbars that the lights are going to go on are custom-made and hand-dipped and galvanized and all this other kind of
Wow.
fancy stuff, right? So by the time they get to us, it'll be mid-May. But they said that their work, Rodkey's work, will not interfere with the practice or the game season. They'll get all of the equipment off of the field at the end of their workday. And it should be a quick project, 2 weeks, hopefully, get that finished. The skate park, as others may have already seen, the construction's underway. We should be finished with that around the third week of April if the weather cooperates. And then we'll have a grand reopening on that. And the fence on the softball field sides will go back up to protect skaters and ball players. So looking forward to that being finished. And that's all I have for various construction improvement.
All right. Update on the fiscal year budget
Yes, so
items? Okay.
yes, all right, that's been introduced. We've held the workshop, and the budget should be adopted at the April 10th council meeting. We tried to accommodate as many athletic association requests as possible. We think we did a good job with that, and we'll coordinate with the organization leaders as we get closer to July 1st.
Okay. And then, of course,
With the big one,
the big one,
Yeah.
Memorial Park expansion.
right, okay. Alrighty, Dan, ready to go when you are. Here we go. All right. So bear with me, everybody, while I share my screen up here. Hopefully. Okay, there we go. All right, so here is the plan itself. Hopefully, everybody can kind of see that. We'll get into full color later, but I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit here. Okay. So the engineer was able to put 4 fields on, 4 multipurpose fields and substantial parking. There's a multipurpose building kind of situated between everything. We like the position that they put that in because it's convenient to all 4 fields. That building is 5,000 square feet. It's going to be kind of like I don't want to say a glorified pole barn, but it's going to be kind of basic. It's going to be just standard, nothing really fancy. But on one end, it's going to have the concession and kitchen. That end is going to be close to the parking lot. The other end is going to be, for equipment storage, and then the middle part is going to be the larger part, and that's going to accommodate cheers practice with the higher ceilings. It can be used for meetings, practices, whatever. The big road that you see there leading off of Frederick Street, right now, we do have that as a vehicular road. That's if we can get authorization from State Highway to have that entrance exit off of Frederick Street. The engineer has a contact with SHA that they've worked with on past projects, so we're hoping that that goes well and they'll give us that permission to put that entrance and exit onto there. If they don't, then we'll just end the vehicle access just past the parking lot there, and it'll just be a pedestrian path down to Frederick Street. But we're hoping to have a good outcome with SHA, so that will enable people to access this portion a little bit easier. It'll ease some of the traffic in the park. We're still in discussions about that corner of the road that's right behind the grandstand. We may close it off at that point between the maintenance shops and the little parking area there by the big playground and down to that curve by the grandstand, just to avoid having anybody collide with anybody coming out of this drive or along the other section of Park Drive. That's going to be paved. All of that gravel portion is going to be paved, hopefully. So we're still exploring what to do with that up there. We are going to have, if we get this road accessed, everything, we are going to have speed tables on there. Not speed bumps because they interfere with snow plows, but speed tables so that it'll slow the traffic going in and out. And hopefully people who think that they're going to use this as a shortcut around the square to go west, once they go over those speed tables a few times, they're going to find out it's not going to save them at any time. Let's see, what else? We're going to have, of course, full field lights, LED lights on all of these, and parking lot lights. And I don't know if you can see this, but the pedestrian path goes down to the bottom there, that bottom 3rd field, and kind of next to the little wooded area there. We're considering some solar pathway lights back there because there's no parking lighting or any accessory lighting back there. Another thing that the engineer put in the plan, it's not showing on this one, it'll show up on the other renderings, is a little tot lot on the one side of the multipurpose building. And while we hadn't really thought about this, I think it's a good idea just because, yeah, you've got little kids there and their older siblings are playing on the fields. May as well have something, for them to do. Yeah. So parking spaces, go over the numbers. We have in the first long lot, we have a total of 156 spaces there. In the smaller, more rectangular lot, we have 130, so we have a total of 286 parking spaces with this expansion, which is nice.
That's incredible.
That will help a lot,
That's incredible.
for sure.
Oh,
And then, so what I'm about to show you, and Stephanie, I want to call this out to you as well. The engineer gave us some 3D renderings. The building looks a little short. It's not going to be that short. It will be elevated to make sure, they've got all the specifications on the ceiling height that's required and everything. So don't be alarmed when you see these. I'm like, oh my God, we're not going to have the ceiling height. All right, so let's go into that. So 23. All right.
oh, wow.
I'm going to try to zoom in here. So this is an aerial view of what the fields are going to look like. We've got the bleachers on there. We've got the lights. You can see the parking. And they just kind of dubbed, some of this stuff in. So just kind of ignore the surrounding areas. But the only thing that's not shown on this is stormwater areas. So there may be a couple of stormwater areas. We've got tree plantings in a couple of areas, and we might incorporate some rain gardens in there. Look very good on a grant application for sure. The rain gardens are a big thing. But we may still, need some stormwater facilities put in there. So we'll explore that. And go back over here. Is the next one, just a slightly different view, but you can see that road going out to Frederick Street a little bit better on here. And you can't see it in here, you'll see it in the next one. The colors look like, on the poles, looks like wood, but they're gonna be metal for those lights. And this is just showing a view coming in from Frederick Street on that drive. And you can see we put in some arborvitae or something just to screen this equipment storage yard there from the neighboring property. All right, and then this is what I'm really excited to show you all. Here we go. There's no sound, I'm sorry. But this is coming in off of Frederick Street. We've got that parking lot. You can see the building there with the concession stand and flagpole. Just going up on an aerial over the 3 main fields. Again, those look like wooden poles, but they're going to be metal. We've got some nice bleacher spots there. I love the little car driving and everything. And then we're going to see it at nighttime. They wanted to do a nighttime depiction just to show how the lights are going to look on the fields with the fields illuminated. This doesn't really show the parking lot lighting very well, but just to give you an idea of what they look like illuminated at night. So that is going to definitely help soccer, field hockey. I know field hockey tremendously. Yeah. And there we have it. Does anybody want to see any of the images or the plans again? I can bring them back up. Did you video that? You can watch it right on YouTube. All right. That's okay.
Bill's in love.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think?
It looks great. Looks great. Just one sport that is kind of, again, not being, I think, thought of is basketball.
Well, I know that suggestion was made.
The fact that they're
Yeah.
not getting basketball courts.
Right. Well, I know that suggestion was brought up before, I think by Jerry and Emmanuel. The cost of incorporating a basketball court into the building is substantially higher than just having a basic building, with a concrete epoxy floor. The basketball courts are, to have an authentic basketball court floor, it's a floating floor with the wood, and there's a lot that goes into it. And just that alone can be expensive. So I think at this point and going forward, we're just going to put the focus on you guys for storage and concession, and cheer as well for their practice space. So, y'all would have to work out a schedule if you guys want to hold a meeting in there, but cheer needs to practice, you guys would have to work that out, obviously, but cheer would have, the intent is so that cheer has the priority use of this space in this building. And definitely for the equipment storage for all of their mats, which, as you know, are very heavy. Right, yes, I know. Yeah, right, yeah, exactly, yeah, but. Do we have any other questions? Any other comments or anything?
Beautiful.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. Here, Bill, do you want to come up and, I'm sorry, I got to put you on the spot. I'm
Gotta put me
sorry.
on the spot. The other question I had was, the turf. Is it turf? Is
It's
it
going to be
dirt?
natural. It's going to be natural grass, right?
Okay.
Weighing the pros and cons of each. Right now, the artificial turf, a lot of people think you put it in and you're good to go. You don't have to do anything to it. There is
No,
maintenance
it's
required,
very-
right?
it's
Yeah,
very
it
high
fades.
maintenance.
And lately, there's been an environmental concern because the little plastic beads that go in as the sub base can emit those PFAS, and they can leach into the ground. So we definitely don't want that.
So will it be natural grass, like a
It will be
Bermuda
natural grass.
or
Yes, we're gonna go with
what
some
kind of-
very high quality grass. Yeah, I like Bermuda just because it's just got a better texture to it. It's a little more durable.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so we're not just gonna throw some, Kentucky bluegrass seed out there and call it a day and throw some weed spray. Yeah, it's gonna be,
Gotcha.
yeah, we're gonna really baby that until they get started. So, and then after that as well, to make sure, divots are repaired and all that kind of good stuff. After the games, you're gonna have to call everybody out on the field, like after a polo
Like
game.
polo games?
That's right. Everybody pack in those
Gotcha.
divots. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only
Okay.
other question.
All right, and the timeline for this, so you all know when you might be able to use this building and play on the fields. Of course, we have to go through the whole engineering process. This is just the beginning. Once they get to a certain percentage of completion on these plans, we'll submit everything to the county, and then we'll have to wait for their review and approval. We'll also have to get approval, of course, from our own planning commission. This concept, what you've just seen, is going to be presented to them at this month's meeting, the March 27th meeting. Again, it's just the concept presentation. Then, once we get the county's approval and everything, we think we can put the RFP out, the engineer estimates the timeline, January of next year. So that could be awarded potentially at the February meetings, and then we could start construction right after that. So maybe, depending on, because there's gonna be some grading involved, obviously, some substantial work to get this all leveled out. And the grass to get established, all the electrical work and all of that, and the asphalt. I don't know if it would be too optimistic to say that you could play on them by next fall. I don't know. But definitely by the following spring, I would think that they'd be ready to go by then. Yeah.
Agree.
Keep your fingers crossed, right? Yeah.
That's
Let's
if
just
the-
hope that the county
I was
does a
gonna
quick
say,
review.
that's only if the
county
county
commission has
plays.
a
The county.
way of
right.
sticking their fingers in things.
Right, yeah, right. Yeah, so that's what I've got on that. Okay, does anyone want to see anything, again, like I said? It's all going to be on the video as well. You can refer back to it as many times as you like.
All right, board have any questions? No. We're good. I love
It's
it.
amazing.
It is.
It's
I love it.
amazing. Yeah.
This is something that we needed
Right.
so badly.
Also, the engineer, we asked them what their cost estimate would be, just a ballpark. We weren't going to hold them to it. They thought maybe 1.2 million. Now, we budgeted a bit more, a little bit more than that. So, we'd probably be okay. But again, material prices rising. Who knows what the final cost is going to shake out to be. Obviously, I'm going to apply for grants and get what I can, where I can. Hopefully, we'll be successful with that to help defray some of the cost of that. But I think it's going to be fantastic. Obviously, it's going to relieve the pressure for soccer, especially on other parks. Field hockey will have a home. I don't know if lacrosse will want to play on these as well, since they've worked out the wonderful arrangement with football. They do have access to that space. But this is going to benefit multiple organizations. It's gonna help softball, because if soccer can focus here in Roberts Mill, then they might not need those fields at THS Park. So then softball could maybe do something there with, if there's room, adding in another field. Definitely having full use of the time in that park,
Right,
so.
Yeah. that's great.
Yep.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
I know included into this plan, there wasn't any, thing for baseball fields, but we had talked to baseball about, some things that we could do to help them. Has there been any more discussion on that with, just as far as like how they wanted to rearrange some space that they already have and put the
Right.
extra little, like the T-ball fields and that kind of stuff?
Yes, yeah, we've spoken with them. They're still considering moving field 2, because it just gets washed out so much there.
Great.
And initially, we had thought that we would use that space for a splash pad, but after further discussion, it was just, everybody was pretty spot on their suggestions with, well, if it's between the pavilions and the other ball fields, it might not be a good area to have kids running around on a splash park. So that is gonna be moved on the other side of the tennis courts. So that does free up some space over closer to the merry-go-round in Field 1 for them if they want to flip that field over there.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's what they had said about getting another backstop and having them
Mhm.
back-to-back fields, just, for the little kids.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I know their T-ball program has expanded. I don't have their numbers, but yeah, I know that it's growing, especially the T-ball. So. Anything else?
Does anybody have a comment? No? Okay. All right. Then we shall move on with new business then, as far as schedules, I guess for all the teams.
Yes, just want to ask that, once schedules are set, to please send them in, so I have record of those. I think I've already received soccer's, yeah, and, lacrosse said they're working on theirs. I know softball's still probably setting theirs, so they don't have those ready yet, yeah. And baseball, I think they're still working on theirs as well. So,
Okay.
but just need to have those as soon as they're ready.
And everybody's received the updated event
Yes,
schedule
I have
and
sent that out.
aware? Okay,
Mhm, yes,
that's good.
yes. And I also advise baseball about bulk trash day.
Okay,
And I'm going to make a note to advise lacrosse of that as well. I believe
that a- yeah.
that's going to be, I think that's going to be May 6th. That's the first Saturday in May, so,
Okay. So they are aware of that.
yeah.
And that probably won't happen until the afternoon for field usage or, okay.
Right. Maybe so, yeah. Oh, and I do want to make a note, I've sent out to all the organizations, if you're interested in participating in the Memorial Day Parade, let me know. I've already heard from soccer, you guys are going to have some people either riding or walking in that. And do you know if cheer's going to, okay, great, all right, good, we're good on that. So get them lined up for that. That'll be
Okay.
good.
And then Home Depot information to share with,
I'm going to turn that over to Jerry.
okay,
Yeah, so last meeting we talked about the Team Depot, how they provide opportunities where they provide help versus a donation. I know a lot of our sports organizations, you can raise the money, get a project done, you can't get the help out there to do it, causes issues. So what they do is they allow you to, put in requests, and they actually put a crew together and come out and give you a hand with it. And so what I was going to look into was like the process of that. And so it's actually very casual. All you have to do is just type up a letter with, what your project is, what you need, when it is, the day, time, all that stuff. And they just ask that you put on the letterhead, like your organization and then your, like tax status or whatever. So just to show that you're a nonprofit, or, with the government agencies like that, they said they would help. They would, as long as it's community stuff, like, they'll send out a crew. So, and then you just turn that in at their front desk. And they said it normally takes like 6 to 8 weeks to process. So, you can't go to them and say, we got something going on in 2 weeks, we
Right.
need help. But like, as long as you put it in and with the time, they'll review it and then they'll get back to whoever the contact is and set up, find out what you need and try to get a crew out there to give you a hand.
So there's no application, it's just a letterhead from the actual, okay,
Yep.
Nice.
so no application.
Lowe's does the same. They have a program like that as well? Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Do you guys use programs like that, or do you just rely on, parent volunteers, family volunteers?
Parent volunteers when registration or,
Yeah.
I know baseball, soccer, they have like field prep days.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
that's
thinking
kinda,
about.
that's one of the things that we also have kind of, you know, the families that need the extra help wait till the season,
Oh.
instead of, waive the fee if you come out and you help.
Oh, that's a nice program. Yeah. Kind of trade work for the fee. Yeah, that's good. That's nice.
Yeah, and one of the thoughts that I had too with it was, like we had said, for help, for the different events that we put on, like if we need help with the wine fest or we need help with the fishing derby or whatever. But for the sports programs, especially like with this new park going in, you have the opportunity to run tournaments and that kind of stuff. And those tournaments can generate a lot of money for the program, but you also need a lot of help. Like, when you get to the day of the tournament, you have, 4 or 5 fields going. I mean, there's a lot to do. So it might be an opportunity to plan, ahead if you're going to do a tournament and, see what kind of help you can get with your own parents and board members and stuff, but then, maybe reach out to them for a small crew to help on those days.
I think it's a good program.
That's awesome.
I wonder if you can go to both, if you can go to both Home Depot and Lowe's for like the same
Same
field
project.
maintenance day or tournament or something like that. I mean, oh.
Have you used them, Bill, as far as Lowe's, or no?
No.
Okay.
I know some people that work there that have done projects like that.
Okay. Well, that's good to know too. All right. That's helpful. All right. Is that it? You're good? Okay. Is there any other comments from us sitting up here? No? All right. All right. So we'll turn that over to public comment. Does anybody have any comments to share with us in regards to what we've talked about?
Just one thing. I want to thank you all for coming out, the ones that we don't normally see. It's nice to know that you've got interest in what we're trying to do for you.
All right. So no public comment. All right. Silence. Okay. So with that, if nobody has anything, our next meeting is scheduled for May 10th, 6:30, right here. And that is it. And if you have additional comments or questions about the presentation, you're more than welcome to contact Lorena. She can get you specifics of anything, but other than that.
Yes. If you would like me to email you that concept plan and the pictures and video, let me know, and I can do that for you. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Or like I said, you can hit that video up on YouTube and watch it over and over again.
It is a thing of beauty.
I've already watched this video like 10 times.
It's a thing of beauty. I mean, it really is
Yeah.
very impressive. so.
Yeah.
I like those
Yeah.
pictures.
Arrow did a great job. They did a fantastic job. Yeah.
So with that, the Athletic Association meeting is done for this evening, and we're just going to roll into our Parks and Rec meeting. If you want to stay, you're more than welcome, Bill. If not, you guys are more than welcome to leave. But thank you again, and we'll see you May.
In May. Thank you.
See you in May. Thanks again. All right. All right, so with that, are we ready? All right. All right, welcome to our Parks and Recreation Advisory Board meeting, March 15th. All right, so it looks like we have a full board tonight, and that's exciting. And we have a new member with us, Mackenzie. So this is Mackenzie Kilby. You're a newer resident to Taneytown. You enjoy our parks, and you have a passion for volunteerism. Ta-da, that's why she is with us. Ms. Kilby has attended Elizabethtown College, studied environmental science, legal studies, and philosophy. She has served on the Student Senate at her college, a student rep on the Cecil County Board of Education, and had an internship with Delaware Fish and Wildlife. So she's been very busy and will continue to keep her very busy through all of our events that we're having throughout this year. So welcome aboard. We're so glad to have you. All right. So let's move in. So approval of minutes. Did everybody get the minutes? That would be from February 15th. Everybody had a chance to look those over. With that, do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second that motion.
Thank you. All right, is there any additions, corrections, anything to discuss? No? All right,
Not at this time.
not at this time. All right, so those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Any nays? All right. All right. Do we have, does anybody, I see some people, would anybody like to come up prior to discuss anything with us before we go into full meeting mode? All right. So with that, so long awaited, I'm sure Beth is glad. Nomination and election of secretary. She's like, yes. All right. So, I mean, I've talked already to Mackenzie about her desire, and she would love to volunteer to do the minutes for us. But in order to make it official, I need a motion, a nomination, first of all, a nomination, and then we can then elect her. Would you like to?
Yes. I would like to nominate Mackenzie to be secretary with her experience in volunteerism and her other background. I think
That's
she'd be a
exactly right.
perfect fit.
Mr. Harvey, perfect.
And I will second that nomination.
I'll
Look at
third it.
that. Oh, gosh. Well, fourth that. So with that, and are you gladly accepting?
I accept.
The challenge?
Yes, I
All right, get ready for that. Okay, so those in favor of accepting Mackenzie as our new secretary, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Well, look at that. Congratulations. Welcome, congratulations.
You're making it out
No,
to
it's
be, it
fine.
really.
No, it's fine. All right. So with that, we are going to get into unfinished business, which would start with Bollinger Park.
Yes, yes. So county engineering wants the original location of the entrance shifted about 25 feet or so over. So we are going to do that and then resubmit a red line plan. Hopefully, we only have to do that to engineering. And then that process can be expedited. With that, we'll have to represent to the Planning Commission as well for that red line approval for the new driveway or entrance location. We're hoping to get that, again, this might be too optimistic, we're hoping to get that on the April Planning Commission meeting.
Okay.
But we're not putting it on there until we get absolute approval from the county engineering department and anyone else over the county who's
Okay.
got an interest in that.
Our first grant deadline on this park is August 1st. Luckily, this is for the pollinator garden. So I've already been discussing with Cedar Hedge Farm, who's our partner in that project, that we're going to go ahead and proceed with that part of the project before the trail completion so that we can make that grant deadline. It really that should be fine because the pollinator garden is going to be offset from the trail a little bit. It'll be close by, obviously, so people on the trail can see it and walk on the pollinator paths or what have you, but it's not going to interfere with installation of the trail. So we should be all right with that. But we just can't wait on that one,
Right.
or we'll lose that $5,000 funding from Chesapeake Bay Trust. We are working on ordering the trail signage, which is very exciting. Once I get the proofs from that, once the sign company customizes it for Taneytown and Bollinger Park, I'm going to send that over to you all for your review. I think you'll be very pleased with that. Very nice and very educational. So I'm going to be top notch on that. And that's all I have for Bollinger at this time. Any questions on that one?
So if we have to move the entrance, are we encroaching more onto, more
It'll
toward?
be moved more towards Cedar Hedge.
Oh, Cedar Hedge?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Right.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and we'll still have a landscape buffer. We'll still have a good buffer between the entrance and the nearest adjoining property.
Okay.
Plus, we're giving that adjoining property a fence and evergreen screen along the fence as well.
Okay.
So
Just
they
wanted
should
to
be
make
fine.
sure, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
And we do have allotted funds for any cost overruns, refiguring of the cost of the park because of the change
Well-
orders and whatever.
Well, yeah, we definitely are going to be looking at change orders just because the difference in material pricing between, I think we awarded this contract in July, and here we are, in March, and hopefully they can get started in May, again, depending on the county. So we're definitely going to be looking at a change order for that. But luckily with the grant money, all the grant money that we've gotten for this project, it's going to definitely offset some of the price increasing.
Okay,
Mhm.
I just
Yeah.
don't want to get into the project and all of a sudden we've run out of cash and can't finish something.
Right, no, we will finish this project, yeah, one way or another.
Yes.
Waited too long to start.
Right.
We're
This-
finishing.
This park
Yep.
will be opened, yes. Oh, and just a quick note too about Bollinger Park. Ecotone is out planting trees along the road frontage part on Bollinger, the big open area that was left. And that is finishing off the afforestation requirement from the Meads Crossing development. So aside from the normal benefits that trees have, that's going to definitely help with sound buffering from the road for those who are walking the trail
Absolutely.
in Bollinger and
Yeah.
fishing. Yeah.
That's exciting. All right. I guess we can skip the Memorial Park expansion project. We discussed that unless you had additional,
No.
unless you want to show the video again.
Do you all want to see the video again? I love watching that video. Yeah, it's
It
great.
is a gorgeous
Yeah,
video.
it
No,
is.
it's very
Yes.
impressive.
Yes, right.
All right.
So
So
we'll just keep our fingers crossed that, that the county agency review process moves smoothly and we can get all of that squared away so that we can release that RFP and get construction started, finished, and get these teams out there playing on those fields that are much needed.
Very much needed. Okay. And then regular updates on general park improvements.
Yeah, so I already stated about the skate park project. So one thing that I would like to mention is, as I said, once it's finished, we are going to have a reopening and ribbon cutting dedication ceremony. Stephen Walton, the young man who's being memorialized as part of this project, his mother is going to be coming in from out of state for the ceremony. So we hope that his other family members and friends can come, and I would really like if she could cut the ribbon for it, or at
Absolutely.
least be one of the ribbon cutters for that. Probably
Absolutely.
maybe have a couple of his friends up there as well. So I know that they're very excited about it. It means a lot to them for that portion. And I know our skate community is really excited about it. They can't wait to get back out there. Let's see, what else? As we spoke before with Bill on soccer, we are working on improving the soccer fields at Roberts Mill Park. So this includes rolling them with a heavy roller to try to level them out somewhat, and then getting in there with some heavy seed and fertilizer. And again, as stated before, it's tricky with the timing because they're already out there practicing and playing. So trying to get the teams not to use one particular field so we can seed and fertilize that one and leave that for at least a week or 2 weeks at most, to get the seeds started. And then one field at a time. It's just kind of tricky. It'd be great if we had the kind of weather in, July when they're not using the fields to get out there and throw some seed down and everything, but that doesn't usually work out. And then in the fall, they start early as well. So it's really, there's a lot of overlap there, but we're going to do the best we can. Also, after we do the rolling before the seeding, we're bringing in some fill dirt just to fill those. There are some holes out there. They're not deep, but they're, it's a little uneven. As Bill said, a lot better from previous years.
Yes.
We've made every year, our public works guys have gone out there and done what they can as far as aerating, seeding, fertilizing to get those fields up to par. And I think they've made some strides. They have. But those fields are played heavily, and you can imagine the damage that cleats do to that grass and all of that. So just try to keep up with it. And let's see. That's all I have on miscellaneous improvements, general park improvements.
Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay. All right, so we shall begin our busy season with events.
Yes,
This
indeed.
starts, yeah.
Yes, indeed. So our first one up is the Easter egg hunt, Saturday, April 1st, starting at 1. I've got a few volunteers. Could always use some more. We've got 4,000 eggs to hide. We've got cookies and juice to hand out, raffle tickets to hand out for the Easter baskets and the flowers. And I need someone to be the Easter bunny. I don't know if that someone has confirmed. Yeah? Will you do it? Yeah. Oh, thank you. All right. So we got the Easter bunny locked in. All right. Great.
It was the warmest place to be last year.
That's true. It was a bit breezy. And Dawn, thank you for holding those balloons. Gosh, hopefully. I don't know if we're going to go with balloons this year or not. I don't know.
It was the thought that counted,
Right.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah. After that, Spring Community Flea Market, Saturday, April 29th. Oh, let me back it up. Sorry, the Earth Day cleanup event on Saturday, April 22nd. Actually, Earth Day this year coincides. We are going to be running it the same way we have before. It'll be 1 to 3 in any park. Anyone can choose any park that they want to go to. We'll have volunteers out there. Hopefully anybody from the board who wants to meet our volunteers with trash bags and lunch tickets. This year we're going to give out tickets to go to the hot dog truck and redeem for, after all the cleanup is done, the volunteers can get a hot dog and a drink at the end of that. So hopefully we'll have a good turnout for that. So back to the flea market, Saturday, April 29th from 9 to 1. We are receiving a lot of vendor reservations, so the spaces are filling up fast. We do have a link to the registration form. If you go to the website, go to calendar, and then find the event, and click on it, then there's a link to the application.
Okay.
And I've also advertised, email me, call me, or whatever, I'll get you the application via email and get that back. We have the Lucky Truck and Tasties. Tasties is a new food vendor, so we're going to try them out. Lucky Truck and Tasties and Amber's Bake Shop, and hopefully we're going to have Travel and Tom's Coffee Truck.
Ooh,
It's run by the same people who do Kona Ice,
okay.
so they're
that's
expanding into
exciting.
just coffee, and they've got their coffee truck. And that'll be good since, it's a morning activity there. Speaking of food trucks, the Lions Club is selling their food trailer. They just do not have the membership to run it. And they just can't keep up with it anymore. So they're selling it. They will not be at any of our events anymore. So that means for, obviously, the Earth Day cleanup and then the fishing derby, we'll have the hot dog man, as he calls himself, that we've used in previous years. We'll have him back out again.
Okay.
We're looking for participants in the Memorial Day Parade. So if anyone is listening who has an organization or knows of an organization or business who wants to participate in the parade, reach out. We'll be happy to fit you in. This year, we are going to have FSK High School Band performing. Yay! Yeah, so that'll be nice.
Exciting.
Finally, yes. After a couple of years hiatus, they're back in action, so that'll be good. And I've already had a lot of the previous year's participants sign back up again, so that'll be good. The ceremony is going to be that morning, Memorial Day, is that Monday, May 29th, at the War Memorial down at the park at 10 a.m. So I've got the bugler lined up, lining up speakers and such. So we'll have some veterans there as well, of course. So that'll be good. Continuing to work on the Wine, Art, and Music Festival. We are submitting our application for the special one-day alcohol license to the Carroll County Liquor License Commission. I've started calling the beverage vendors to reach out to them personally versus email to get some more on board. Right now, we have 5 wineries, 3 breweries, 2 distilleries, and 1 meadery, total of 11. We have 4, which is what we had last year, but I'd like to get more. We want to expand.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We have 4 food trucks and 2 dessert trucks. And I also just sent out sponsorship information to businesses and organizations. So we had a good response on that last year. So hopefully we'll have a good response this year as well. And the online ticket app purchase venue, Ticket Leap, it's live now. So people can go on there already and purchase.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yep, so that's all set. Yep, that's all I have for the events right now. I've been populating our Facebook page heavily with all of our events, so yeah, yep.
They're being seen, so that's
Yeah.
good. Do we have
Yes.
any questions thus far?
What was the fishing derby date again?
Saturday, May 6th.
6th.
Yes. Yeah, I have a couple of volunteers signed up for that as well. I get a lot of good volunteers, honestly, from the community service, the district court. I mean, these people need to get their hours in,
Yes, they
so
do. Yes, they do.
I'm happy to sign off on their service forms. If they put the work in, and a lot of them do, yeah, most of them do. They'll call me and sign up. I do want to note too, our summer programs are being planned. So we've already got the tennis clinics confirmed. That's July 10th through the 13th. And we're getting signups for that. We've got our summer yoga in the park confirmed. So we just put that flyer out and posted those events on Facebook. And I'm still working with Stephanie Sullivan of Chose Hep Keto
Okay, cool.
to firm up the dates and times for a Hep Keto program this summer as well.
That's exciting.
So yeah, that'll be nice.
we're
A
doing
nice variety.
Right, movies in the park, right?
Yes, we are going to put together movies in the park again this year. So Taneytown Men of Faith and the Carroll Arts Council partnering again with us on that. They're doing most of the work. And I think Taneytown Men of Faith put a post out in the Facebook groups asking, hey, what kind of movies are you looking for this year? So I think they're going to run 3 again this year. So, and this time we'll have some rain dates factored in. Last year we did not have any rain dates, and it was touch and go there for summer weather.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also, the only question I had, and I'll throw it out to our audience. So for Earth Day cleanup, I'm wondering if we couldn't work just with the city of Taneytown, like as far as like a Main Street cleanup, anybody that wanted to participate and then meet at the park? I don't know.
Like a citywide, like, hey,
Yeah,
let's
like a
pick up
citywide,
litter along
yeah,
Main
sure.
Street, or
Yeah,
that
Main
thing.
Street, yeah. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. Something to think about. it would be nice just to do it like citywide and then meet at the park for, whatever.
Sure.
So something to think about moving forward.
No, that's a
that's it.
good idea. I'll reach out to someone about that.
You don't know who. Let's see. All right, and as far as, how many more do you need for the, how many volunteers do you need for the Easter egg hunt? Because that's coming up.
Right. I would say 5 more volunteers
5 more?
would be helpful. Yeah.
Okay,
So if anybody is interested, let me know.
I will help.
Yeah, I'm gonna go home tonight, check all these dates, and I'll text you,
Okay.
because we're starting to get some of the kids' schedule stuff in, so
Okay.
I'll know what, try to make it all, but you know how that goes.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, 4,000 eggs, it's a lot of eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
After a while, I think last year, we were just like.
Right.
Just
We're just
throwing it, like, I
Scooping
don't
them
know
out
where to
onto the
put it.
ground.
I
Yeah.
don't know where to put it anymore.
Yeah. Especially for the youngest age group, because,
Yeah.
it needs to be easy for them.
But the best part is they're already pre-filled, so thank you, Lorena, for making that happen for us.
Absolutely.
So.
Yes. We'd like to thank Sunny Bunny Easter Eggs for having that early bird discount. On that, I'm like, oh, they're doing the early bird discount again. Order them. Yay.
Way to look for a deal.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Way to look for a deal. All right. And then update on the fiscal year 2024 budget.
Right. As stated in the TAA meeting, budget is up for adoption at the April 10th council meeting. All of our budget items were left in as presented in the draft. So we're very happy about that and looking forward to getting a lot accomplished again this coming fiscal year. So all of that is very, very helpful, of course.
Absolutely. And then any other additional updates for us?
Just, you know what, I'd like to encourage listeners to follow the Parks and Rec Facebook page, just to stay up to date on information that we put out there and events, things happening in the parks generally. I know I try to share all of the posts out to the neighborhood page and other community pages, but it's easier if everybody just gets it from the source, for sure. And that's all I've got.
Okay. Any questions thus far? Lorena, you've not been busy at all, have you?
No.
Not at all. And you're just getting started with
That's
all
right.
now the events. So,
Absolutely.
boy, oh boy. New business to report? I mean,
I didn't have anything.
no?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. So do we have any reports from mayor and city council? And look, we have a new liaison.
I don't think we have anything.
No?
Just
you don't-
thank you for everything that
Yep.
you do.
And while we're at it, Judy, I want to say thank you so much for being a wonderful liaison to us. We appreciate it. Working hard, still working hard for us, so we thank you so much for
It is really a pleasure.
all the hours and fun that we've shared together. It's been
And I'll
lovely.
still be at all those events, so.
Oh, good, good, then we can count on you.
Great.
That's
I
a yes.
haven't lost a volunteer.
Mhm. And now we'll have her input on the planning commission
Great.
as we
Yes.
move forward with.
Well,
with our
that's lovely
projects.
too. So thank you. All right. Any board member reports? I'm gonna go down. Mr. Harvey, anything to share with us?
Nothing to report on.
Okay. Mr.
Don't have
Hobbs?
anything new, no.
I would assume.
Nothing new.
Nothing new. Look at that. All right, so we have nothing new. I just want to thank all, I mean, Lorena, you've been super busy making things happen. We're getting a lot done. Things that I didn't think were going to be possible is becoming possible. So thank you so much for your hard work.
You're welcome. Well, thank you. I think we make a great team. We've got a great administration. So
Absolutely.
we're-
Yep.
everybody from the top down, great Department of Public Works. They're the ones who
Oh,
are
yeah.
out there, actually. They're the ones doing the physical work, for sure. I mean,
They've been working.
yes.
Since Lorena came on board, she's got them working hard.
I think if they only knew, it's all becoming when I first started here.
That
Yeah.
might be
You do a good job.
something to think about for the Home Depot program.
What do you
Get
mean?
them to help out some of the things that we've had Public Works doing by themselves.
But we're
You could bring in some
Yeah, we're
volunteers
not
to
a
help them,
nonprofit. I can't.
you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, we're
painting
not a
pavilions
nonprofit.
or,
Right. That I don't know about, because if it's a city project,
Right. We cannot.
okay.
city funds, I
Correct.
think it has to be city employees who are, if they're doing that, unless we hire a contractor. I think that's for liability reasons. Everybody
Okay.
has
I
to have
just
insurance.
No, it was a good thought.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, for sure.
Threw it out there.
Yep. Well, softball said that are they gonna paint their dugouts this
Well,
year, or are they just leaving it?
we painted the gray on there. Initially, they wanted to paint them, but some time passed, and then I just double checked with them, and they said, just go ahead and paint them gray, and we'll be fine with that. If at some point in the future, they change their minds and they get that
Yeah.
project going, then we'll.
I mean, if you
we'll
do
pick
talk
up.
to softball too, the snack shack that's sitting at Taneytown High School Park, that's probably been there since 1950, probably needs.
It needs some-
really, it needs,
Needs some TLC for sure.
or it just,
That Lions Club hot dog cart.
That's a good idea.
yeah, they
That's
could
a
buy
great
it. There
idea,
you go.
Judy, you know? I mean, a little bit of spray paint, they could spray
park
paint over the
that.
yellow and the blue and the Lions Club
Yeah.
logo and,
No, that's been there since,
It was needed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
12 years ago when I was working there. so yeah.
absolutely. So,
Hmm.
just the thought, I mean, that'd be great for Lowe's or Home
yeah.
Depot too.
You know what, I could always ask the Lions Club if they'd be willing to donate or deeply discount the softball. I don't know.
Could you, Rec and Park starting their own food. We need more money for the parks. Oh, my goodness. All right, and is there any public comment? Step up. No? All right. All quiet. All right. So with that, our next scheduled meeting is going to be April 12th. Am I correct in that, Lorena?
I believe so, yes. Gotta check the calendar.
Just
really quick,
making
sorry.
sure, April 12th at 6:30.
Right, and then that'll just be us.
Yes.
It'll just be the Parks and Rec, yes, April
Correct.
12th.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Same day I have my annual poke and prod.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, there's be nothing more exciting than coming to the next meeting.
Oh.
All right, so with that, so next meeting is April 12th at 6:30. So I can get a motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I will move to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, thank you, Jerry. So I have a motion and a second. All in favor of adjourning for this evening, please signify by saying aye. 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 All right. See everyone in April. Thank you.